This following presentation, A Guide to Differentiating for Instruction for Gifted and Talented Students, was prepared by Marie Pellegrini on August 19, 2020, for Advancement Courses Facilitator, Lori Plump. What is gifted and talented? According to the National Association for Gifted Children, students, children, or youth who give evidence of high achievement, capability in areas such as intellectual, creative, artistic, or leadership capacity, or in specific academic fields, and who need services and activities not ordinarily provided by the school in order to fully develop those capacities. Characteristics of gifted and talented students. Giftedness is a broad term and can be difficult to identify. The characteristics vary greatly, so it is important to differentiate lessons so the learners do not become bored or disengaged. According to the National Association for Gifted Children, characteristics of gifted and talented students are that they are a self-guided learner, interested in experiments, ask advanced questions, perhaps a daydreamer, has an excellent memory, enjoys solving problems and puzzles, is a fast learner, and can think in a more abstract and intangible manner. Common myths about gifted students. According to the Gifted Child's Quarterly in the fall of 2009, some common myths about gifted students are that they don't need help. They'll be fine. Gifted students need guidance from teachers who challenge them and support them to develop their abilities. Another myth is that teachers challenge all the students, so gifted kids will be fine in the regular classroom. Not true. Many teachers work very hard but are unfamiliar with the needs of gifted children and do not know how to serve them best. Very often, students become bored. Another myth about gifted students are that they are happy, popular, and well-adjusted in school. Not always true. Many gifted children differ in terms of their social and emotional age compared to their academic age. They may be isolated and labeled as a nerd. Dr. Joseph Renzulli is an educational psychologist who considers 3 factors important for the development of gifted behavior: above average ability, creativity, and task commitment. Within the above average abilities, Renzulli makes a difference between general abilities and specific abilities. By creativity, Renzulli understands the fluency, flexibility, and openness to experiences and a willingness to take risks. In task commitment, he understands motivation turned into action, like hard work and perseverance. Only if characteristics from all 3 rings work together can high achievement or gifted behavior be witnessed. He also says that the personality and environmental factors influence gifted behavior. Renzulli's 3-ring conception of giftedness. He identified 2 major categories of giftedness: schoolhouse giftedness and creative productive giftedness. Schoolhouse giftedness refers to the students who are typically good test takers. They tend to score high on IQ tests and aptitude tests. They're likely to earn good grades with minimal effort. Renzulli, 1984. Creative productive giftedness refers to individuals who are more likely going to be producers of creative content rather than consumers. They may not always score high on tests, but possess a natural aptitude towards being creative. Renzulli, 1984. Gagne's differentiated model of giftedness and talent. Robert Gagne is an educational psychologist who became interested in what made some students higher performers than others. He developed a differentiated model for gifted and talented, which includes 5 main components. Gifts are usually apparent from a young age, but this does not mean that they are innate. Genetics play a big role in natural gifts, but gifts will continue to grow and develop over a person's lifetime. Number 2, talent development process is an essential progression for cultivating gifts into talents. Gagne believes if a gift is not nurtured, it will not develop into talent. Number 3, interpersonal catalysts are either present or absent in the talent development process and affect the advancement of talents. Examples of interpersonal catalysts include disabilities, personality, self-awareness, motivation, and perseverance. Number 4, environmental catalysts are influences outside of a person's control that impact the development of talents. Examples of environmental catalysts include family, teachers, culture, and enrichment activities. Number 5, talents are a result of gifts maturing over time. Gagné has 9 subcategories of talents, 6 of which are occupationally based. Chance is an uncontrollable variable in the development of talents. Individuals do not have any authority over their genetics, cultural inputs, teachers, environment, etc. So Gagné included a background of chance that impacts the overall growth of talents. Gagné, 2012. So what is a KUDO? K-U-D-O. A KUDO is an objective written in a student-friendly way that explains what students need to know, understand, and do in a lesson plan. KUDOs are a way to break down learning objectives into what it is the teacher wants the students to know, understand, and do by the end of the lesson or unit. I have provided specific examples of a KUDO. For example, by the end of the lesson, students will know times tables with multiplication times 5. Understand, by the end of the lesson, student will comprehend the authority of the 3 branches of the U.S. government. Now do. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to explain how the system of checks and balances work in the U.S. government. Pre-assessments are important. Conducting a pre-assessment is the second step when creating a lesson plan after the KUDOs are aligned with the course standard. Pre-assessments are used to determine your students' knowledge of a topic and should be done a few days prior to beginning the lesson. Examples of pre-assessments are writing in journals. Students move to a corner of a room to strongly agree, disagree, or have no opinion on a topic. This pre-assessment is called 4 corners. Students can complete a bell ringer, which takes a few minutes of the beginning or end of a class, and responses can be written or drawn. The last example is an open writing prompt. Any question can be used to introduce a new topic or get feedback about a lesson, as well as reflection. Formative assessments. Formative assessments are used to assess learning during the lesson. It is a way for teachers to get a quick idea of if students are struggling or if they have mastered a concept. Be sure to provide students with descriptive feedback to help them get to the learning objective, or this can push them toward and beyond higher tiered learning. I have listed several examples of formative assessments to use in an elementary classroom. The first formative assessment is demonstration. Students can test and share their knowledge by demonstrating what they know. Students can also complete graphic organizers to check for understanding and comprehension. Students can demonstrate their knowledge of a lesson by writing in a journal. For students who've mastered the content, they can be placed in a group with higher level prompts to differentiate the activity. Students can write responses on whiteboards. And lastly, the most widely used form of assessment is teacher observation. Summative assessments are the last piece to measure if the students have met the unit's KUDOs. Based on the students' results, you can decide whether to move on to the next lesson or if you need to review the KUDOs again with some of the class. In summative assessments, you can incorporate a variety of assignments to appeal to all learning styles and strengths. Some examples of summative assessments to use at the end of a unit are exams, presentations, portfolios, and final products. Tiered assignments. Differentiation for gifted students can occur by creating tiered assignments. A model in which the instruction is delivered to students varies on several dimensions that are related to the nature and severity of the student's difficulties. Tiered instruction is a method that varies the level of assignments so all students have a chance to find success and make progress. Teachers tier learning so students are working at different levels of the same task, some more difficult and challenging than others. All students work on explore, investigate, and learn the same basic material, but on differing levels or tiers. The most effective and easiest way to manage tiered assignments is by grouping students. They can be tiered by complexity, tiered by degree of structure, tiered by vocabulary, tiered by level of thinking, and lastly, tiered by interest. Providing students with options for learning allows the students to engage more in their individual learning plans. It gives them control and empowers them to engage with the material. I have provided 2 examples of playlists I use in my own 4th grade inclusion class, which offers students a variety of activities to show their knowledge in a way that showcases their strengths. Other examples of offering student choice are tic-tac-toe boards and choice boards. This is an example of a partial playlist about the Northeast region. After the students participate in the basic activity, they can choose between 9 and 12 of the activities to successfully showcase their knowledge of the Northeast region by the end of the unit. Here's another example of a playlist I use in my 4th grade room. I will provide you with copies at the end of this Lunch and Learn. This particular playlist is designed for a 4th grade fractions unit. They all need to begin in the same area and then students move on. This also allows time for individual conferencing, small group work, and reteaching, as well as providing enrichment activities that students work towards their strengths. References. And finally, feedback provided to the following posters in the community space are Janet Perlberg and Sarah Jean Oliver. Thank you for your attention.